This is William from Junilai and Williams Adventures. We hope that you would come along with us tonight. We're going to take a ride in Lapu-Lapu City. We're headed to a Christmas party of a friend of ours that invited us. So come on along and ride along till we get there. Just wanted to talk briefly in this riding talk, guys, about as we ride along, and forgive the bouncers. We're riding in a tricycle, so if the picture jumps a little bit, that's what it feels like riding on a tricycle, guys. So I wanted to talk about the subject, boredom and loneliness in the Philippines. This is a subject that a lot of expats, and expats are, the definition of expat is a transplanted person from one country to another country. They've moved to another country and they call them expats. So I want to talk about a subject that doesn't get talked about a lot, and that's boredom and loneliness in the Philippines, because that's where we're at. And that could be in any country besides your home country that you chose to not just visit, but move to and retire to. Because remember, guys, a lot of guys that moved over to the Philippines, or women, were in a long distance relationship. A lot, not everyone, with a Filipina man or mostly a Filipino woman. And the only people that they really know once they get there, and remember, a lot of them sold their houses, they sold their cars, they sold all their belongings in the United States or Canada, wherever they came from, and moved to the Philippines. So they left their old life behind, so to speak. Maybe the only people they know in that country are their girlfriend, fiance, or maybe even she's their wife by now, or a husband if you were a woman in the LDR. So they're the only people that you associate with, that you have contact with. And now remember, most of the people that came to the Philippines were busy people, people that worked 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They were go-getters, they were doers, movers and shakers in their life and in their country. Now all of a sudden they're 62 to 70, maybe even older, and they're in a new country. Maybe the only people they know is their wife's or girlfriend or fiance's family. Maybe a lot of them don't speak really good English, just some. And of course, if they do, they probably don't know about sports. They don't know about the current events that are going on in the USA or in the West. So having a conversation about anything that might be relevant to you is not there. And a lot of times when you're around your fiance, girlfriend, or wife's family, they're talking in Tagalog or Cebuano, so you really are left out of their conversations, except when they choose to speak English. So really, in all reality, there's a lot of boredom and there's a lot of loneliness that doesn't get talked about, that's associated with being an expat, a transplant to another country, in this case, the Philippines. That's why it's important, guys, to develop a community of friends. As the longer you stay in the Philippines, you should be meeting other foreign expats. You should be developing friendships with other people that you meet in your subdivisions or in the mall. And when you get to meet other people, develop those connections. Just like we're invited to a party tonight from another expat I met that is from Australia. His name is Mark. And he is a friend of another gentleman I met that's name is Ross from Canada. And because I started building a friendship, and I know a couple other guys, we're invited to other community events, and I can sit and talk with other expats that know about the football game. They know about the basketball teams. They know about the current events or things that we could talk about in the U.S. that takes away from the boredom and the loneliness. Because face it, guys, you're going to get homesick when you're away from your home country for any amount of time. That's a long time, 6 months, a year, 2 years. I've been here almost a year and a half. And of course, I miss my family. I miss my grandchildren. I miss my brother and sister, my friends that I had in the U.S. Even though we talk by Messenger and Skype almost every week, it's not the same as being there, guys. And so it's important that you develop other friends, that you can have a community of friends that you have in the Philippines, that you have around to talk to, that you can go over their house, they can come over yours. Because if you chose to retire in the Philippines, remember, you can't run back home tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. You have to plan a trip to go back home. And as I've been told by other expats, and I say it for myself from personal experience, you can't live with one foot in the US and one foot in the Philippines. If you're going to retire and live in the Philippines, then you have to be all in on that choice, guys. So nobody's talking about the loneliness. Listen, 50 to 60% of expats that come to the Philippines leave within the first year or two. And a lot of them leave within 5 years because of that very thing. The loneliness, the boredom, the being away from their country. It's you can't even go out here and go buy a hoagie. And if you're from the East Coast, we loved hoagies. I can hardly find one here. I can't find one here. So there you have to, remember that you have to be the kind of person that can assimilate into a new culture, guys. New taste in food, new taste in things to do. Learning to like karaoke. That's a big event over here. Learning to get with the community of other foreigners that you met. And if you're invited to things, don't isolate yourself in the house, guys. You didn't leave the U.S. in your golden years or your fourth quarter of life to be sitting in a house in the Philippines. You were already doing that in the U.S. So you have to open yourself up to meet people and be able to make other friends in this new country. So I just wanted to put that out there, guys, that's something that's not usually talked about here. We always show the beautiful beaches, all the things, but there is a lot of boredom, a lot of loneliness in assimilating to a new country. We're going to get back to you next time, and we're going to talk some more about that. And we should be getting to the party pretty soon. We wanted you to just ride along with us while we shared what we were thinking about there. Dive into the new life, you guys. If you're going to come here as an expat, remember, in the first few months, start to develop some friends and a community of people that you can sit around and talk to that have common things to talk about. Look, we'll see you next time, guys, at Junie Lai and Williams Adventure. Until then, enjoy every day.